Hello, everyone. You guys know me. I'm Nancy Ganzikofer, business coach to interior designers, and I am here with Peter from Daniel House Club, who is going to tell us about some exciting news that's happening by you. Let me get my live on Instagram going, and hopefully that worked. It did, and it did not work on my Facebook group, but I will get that going later.
Why would everything work? I mean,
You gotta love technology, or you gotta hate it sometimes. It's ridiculous. But all right. So today we're talking about how an interior designer needs a multitude of vendors in order to get a job done. If they're in charge of an entire room, a house, multiple rooms, and they can do that, get all of their furnishings and everything they have to purchase for the decor of a room from Daniel House Club for the most part, correct?
yeah, I don't even know if we need to add for the most part. They can.
Okay, that's what I was waiting for you to say, because I was like, am I missing something? I mean, sometimes designers buy antiques and stuff like that, like local.
Yes.
But when it comes to purchasing from any manufacturer that's sitting at High Point, tell them how they do it through you.
Yeah. So if you don't mind, I'm going to start with a couple of sort of club announcements.
Yes.
Because we have some big things coming up. One is that we're adding some decent number of new bedding lines. We have just added Angish. Sephora will be available through us starting in a couple of weeks, 1 week. And sort of to celebrate those additions, we are going to have a linen sale. It will be free shipping, with probably the intent to always have free shipping going forward on bedding. And that's going to start on June 27th and go through the 4th. And then we always have in late July what we call the Founders Day sale. Daniel House Club is actually named after Alexander, my brother, and my dad, who passed away about 20 years ago, but was a great business guy and really inspired us to do what we're doing here. And his birthday was in late July. So Founders Day is in celebration of that.
Nice.
And what happens is that everybody gets an additional 20% off their member price. So that means that our top tier are buying at around 60% off the retail cost of an item. And it goes for 3 days. And yeah, it's a big event. And so we'd like to start talking about it as soon as possible, because we know that you need time to work with your clients and figure out what's actually going into their project. But that's a really helpful time of year for people.
Give me the dates again. June.
It will be the 26th to the 28th of July.
Of July. Okay.
Yep.
July 26th to 28th. They can purchase at an additional
20% off.
20% off the already
their member price.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. Okay. I love that.
Yeah. And then the other thing is all of our members are about to receive an email, or may have 3 minutes ago now, about changes to Daniel House Club's membership tier structure. So historically, we have had free Pro and Pro Plus memberships, which equate to 30, 40, and 50% off the MAP price or MSRP price, whatever is really important to the vendor. And we survey our designers all the time. We have a what we call CAB, which is Client Advisory Board of designers who are both big spenders with us, some who don't shop with us at all, and we want to know why and what would cause them to shop with us. And what we hear most is more vendors. We want more vendors. There could never be enough vendors on Daniel House Club of good quality.
Yes.
And so the 30, 40, and 50 has been a hang up for some vendors to come on board. And so moving forward, we are going to always strive for that same sort of discount level, but we're going to continue to add vendors that maybe don't fit in there. And so free will become Pro, and really will have no change to the discount, but will include additional vendors that may not quite reach that level of
Okay.
discount. Then Pro will become Pro plus free shipping. That means that level will receive free shipping on everything all the time, which is pretty cool.
I was going to say, you got to say that again. So if they're in the new title of that tier is called Pro plus free shipping. That is the tier that normally gets 40% off.
That's correct. Yes. And going forward, it's going to be between 30 and 40% as we kind of bring vendors on, and you will know by product page what your discount on that particular item is. But free shipping all the time. And the reason we're doing this, the reason we're introducing a tier where there is free shipping is we find that we have two really different types of clients. And one is somebody who is very comfortable billing their client for shipping, will likely profit a little bit on shipping. They will mark it up. And another is somebody who is very accustomed to free shipping every place else and doesn't want to pass through a shipping cost to their client. And so we want to provide them the option of not having shipping costs on anything ever. So that's the purpose behind that tier. And then our Pro Plus membership will become our signature membership. And there will be really very little change to that, except that we will continue to add more vendors that may not be able to come in at that 50% level that we've always had. And again, that will be called out on the product page. But in addition to that, the price per month will go down slightly. And we are promising same business day responses to any email inquiries to the concierge, and
Signature level.
That's at signature level. We will promise 1 to 3 days at every other level, but signature will get 1 day response times and 1 to 2 days to add a custom product to the site for them.
Okay, so they go to a manufacturer, they love this product, they want to present it to their client. They go to Daniel House Club, look there to see how much it would cost them to have you guys purchase it on their behalf, so to speak, and it's not there. That manufacturer, that item is not there. What happens?
Correct. Yeah. It does need to be from somebody we already have a relationship with. You can, of course, reach out to us and say, I'd love to see you carry that vendor. We do keep a running tally of those, but those relationships take time to build. So we do try to accommodate that. But yes, this would be about a particular item from a vendor we already work with that you're not finding on the site.
Okay. And how many vendors do you have approximately?
We have about 200 vendors.
Nice.
We have about 40 vendors right now in our backlog to onboard. And so as those start to get closer in the line, we add them to a section of the site called Available on Request. So you can always sort of see what's in the pipeline by visiting Available on Request.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you're trying to bring on, we're talking about how this is a one-stop shop, really. So the interior designer can go from high-end furnishings to lower-end furnishings and everything in between with the Daniel House Club.
Yeah. And to that end, I kind of thought I'd like to share my screen and kind of go through 3 different projects that I created, loosely created. I mean, just to sort of show the breadth. And touch on some vendors that we particularly love, or that our members particularly love, sort of at that high, mid, and low. And I certainly don't think lesser of the low. I think every house has sort of a range that needs to go into it. Everybody has a 4th bedroom. Everybody has a playroom. And everybody has a living room that they want to be sort of incredible. So yes. I think that those things are important to every client.
Yes. Okay. Share your screen again, and I will take care of the banners and get rid of them so that I can get your screen up there. There we go.
All right. Are we seeing my screen?
Yep. It's up on there now.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to start with sort of what I would consider some of our top-notch vendors. in particular, and Nancy, maybe you feel differently. I think it's really important always to be coming in at the high end on upholstery. That is something that your body is engaging with every day, all the time. And I think that's where you really notice quality. And so I've put together a board with sort of a theoretical living room.
Okay.
I have presented our boards before, but just sort of a quick overview. When you're in Daniel House Club, as a designer, you have some tools. You can break your projects down by client, and then within that client's projects, you have boards that often people break out by room. I here have broken them out by sort of vendor quality. Um, and you, when you create those boards, you sort of set the percentage of the discount you want to share with your client. We, of course, encourage you not to share, or to share just a very little bit so that you're adding value and still making a great profit. And
Yes.
as you add items, you're going to see that your client's total and your profit are tabulating as you go.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it's incredibly helpful. I use
Yeah.
this tool all the time personally because I am not bad at math, but it is not the central focus of my life.
No, when you're
And so
designing someone's home, right? And
exactly. So
this is
this is
awesome.
really, really helpful.
Yes.
And so I put something in here from each of the vendors that I would consider like of really standout quality. This first piece is from Thercoggin. If you're familiar, we offer all of Thercoggin's line. I particularly love this little chair. It's been in my sort of wish list forever. It comes in a number of different colors, including sort of an electric blue.
Ooh.
And so you'll see this chair retails for $6,000. And as a Pro Plus member, you're buying it for $3,045.
Mic drop.
Yeah, yeah.
That's huge.
Uh,
That means you can say to the client, I got this for you 5,800. I saved you $200 off of the retail, and you're making $2,800.
Exactly. Yeah. And you don't have to have that back and forth with the sales rep either. And sales reps can be absolutely wonderful, but it can also be very time consuming to wait to get your shipping included there. So you know your price right away here. We carry EJ Victor's whole line. We actually probably only have about 200 EJ Victor products up, but this is a vendor where if you know the catalog or if you visit the site, you can go ahead and reach out and say, please add this item. This is part of their Alfredo Paredes collection. If you don't know, he used to be one of the creative directors for Ralph Lauren. His collection is really, really beautiful. And again, you can see $12,700 is the retail cost of this coffee table. As a Pro Plus member, you're getting it for half of that.
And the Pro Plus membership cost per month is?
Currently, I believe it's $129 if paid monthly. Starting in 8 days, when our tier change goes into effect, it will be $99 a month if paid monthly, and I believe $79 a month if paid annually. I am great at misstating numbers, so
Okay,
but it will be posted, and it's very close to that.
okay, good.
This I included just because I think it's incredible. This is another piece from the Alfredo Paredes collection. This is a beautiful bar.
Yeah.
It's not affordable, as you can see.
No, $26,000.
Yeah, but quite beautiful.
But so if someone has a client for that bar cart and they're at the signature level, or Pro Plus as it's currently called, soon to be called the signature level, they're going to get that at 50% off.
That's correct. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Or, if they want to shop it during the sale, the Founders Day sale, they're going to get it for about 60% off.
Woohoo. Okay.
Okay, so I should quickly, I didn't include every upholstery line that we carry that I think is fantastic. Wesley Hall, I think, is a great line. I actually think it's a very good value to begin with. It's nicely tailored, it's nicely scaled. Um, this sofa is beautifully detailed, and it comes in hundreds of fabrics and leathers. And it actually only MSRPs for $6,399 or $339. And we offer it in, about 10 fabrics, but as usual, you can reach out to the concierge and do any fabric that you want, either with
Yeah.
Wesley Hall's set fabrics or COM, which we can handle mailing to the manufacturer for you. So I like Wesley Hall for really nice upholstery. I like Theodore Alexander. Actually, Theodore Alexander is a great resource for a range in itself. They have a great, I don't know if it's called Express, but they have a great range of things that are like ready-made and things that
Mhm.
are really, really customized. And they are one of our top vendors in that area. And EJ Victor and Therkogan are also great upholstery lines. We have only very recently added Jonathan Charles, and this piece that I put in is actually, I would say, on the contemporary end of their aesthetic.
Mhm.
I think we are beginning to do a pretty good job of having a stylistic range too. So Jonathan Charles has a lot of really well-crafted traditional pieces. But here I'm showing something that is a little bit more updated.
Yeah.
And I think they're always kind of doing an interesting mix of materials. Um, so that I think is a great line to look at case goods of really special quality. And then these next two lamps, we do a lot of John Richard pieces. We don't do much of their furniture, but they're great for mirrors and lamps, and in both of those categories, they're often offering things that you really haven't seen with other vendors as much as you do with Jonathan Charles. So I just selected this one, but all of their lamps are really kind of special and made with a mix of materials, and actually don't come in at a price point that's too scary. The next sort of high-end vendor that I included here is Modern History. I would say they're sort of actually on the cusp between mid and high. I think they're very well priced for what they're offering. And I
Mhm.
included this just because I think they do a great job with vanities, which is a relatively new category for us, but something that I find in my own work, I'm always looking for a solution for if I don't have to engage somebody to make something custom. If there's something already available, that usually equates to a big savings for me and for my client. The last one I wanted to include in this sort of upper end of things is one of my very favorite vendors, and that's Rug and Kaleem. I mean, every rug they have is something I've never seen before, and they deal a lot in vintage and antique rugs, but anything that they carry, they will make for you new, um, and they do an exquisite job. And they are one of our artisan vendors, so the discounting on artisan vendors is a little bit different. It's typically 5, 10, or 15% off. With Rug and Clean, we run a lot of sales to get you below that number, and they will ship a rug to you and let you try it out in your space. And if you don't like it, you can send it back.
Peter, let me ask them. Someone on Instagram is asking, they can't see the names of the high-end vendors that they wanted. Just could you say the names slowly for them? The ones without going through, you could just kind of name them and what they were.
Yeah, and also if you go, even if you're not a member, if you go to our website, danielhouse.club, and you click on our vendors, it will show you our top vendors. These are the vendors our designers are purchasing most are artisan vendors, and then a list of all of the vendors that we
Ah,
offer.
okay.
We do have a few vendors who do not want to be advertised at all unless the designer is logged in. So if you're seeing a vendor you're interested in, but you're not finding it there, I would email concierge@danielhouse.club and see if there's somebody that we work with. But yes, I'll tell you the vendors that I have shown you so far are Rug and Kilim, Modern History, John Richard, Jonathan Charles, Wesley Hall, EJ Victor, EJ Victor again, and then Thayer Coggin. And now I think I'm going to move over to a little bit of sort of mid-tier vendors. So that was a little living room project theoretically. And now I'm going to show you maybe a little bedroom project. So I would say the two sort of mid-range vendors that we work with most who offer really up-to-date aesthetics and are easy to work with and have great pricing are Bernhardt and Four Hands. Bernhardt has such a sort of tight collection, and they are one vendor that doesn't do an incredible job of policing their map pricing online. So we frequently have had people say, I'm finding pricing all over the place on the internet.
Ah,
And so we are pleased to say that working with Bernhardt, we have finally been able to drop our price about 22.5%. So we feel that we are coming in quite competitively with Bernhardt product now.
nice.
And I think, this piece is large and nicely detailed, and $4,700, or if you're a Pro Plus member, $1,800. So a good value. We have a number of and are expanding European lines, and this is Auto Copenhagen. They do a lot of lighting, but they do also a mix of commercial and retail furnishings. And this looks like it's spendy, but it's actually sold as a pair of two. And I would really encourage you to check them out if your aesthetic leans more clean and modern.
Mm-hmm.
Here is a wild chair that Four Hands has recently introduced. Four Hands is our top selling vendor. We work a ton with them. They are one vendor who is sort of an exception to the 50% off rule at the top tier. They do not allow anybody to market them at more than 35% off retail, whether you're a designer or not. And so what we do is we only sell at 35% off, but then we offer free standard curbside shipping. Four Hands only ships to commercial locations, so we help you get it all the way into your project at no cost.
Nice. Okay. I like that, because Four Hands comes up a lot with my interior design coaching clients because they love their stuff, but their tiers are all wacky.
Yes, yeah, they're an interesting vendor to work with. I think, for the most part, really do a good job of working with designers, but they do have some nuances.
Yes.
One thing I want to point out is our product pages have recently changed a little bit, and so we now are showing this sort of pricing table of MSRP map and your membership tier discount. And if I weren't logged into the Pro Plus or soon to be signature level, I believe this would also show you what you would be buying it for on the Pro Plus level.
Oh, nice.
It will also, if we have a sale going on, there would be a fourth box here to show you that there's a sale price.
Mm-hmm.
We have a number of tags down here too that kind of tell you what else goes on with this particular product.
I love it.
Yeah, and so a vendor that I think people are maybe a little bit less familiar with that I like very much is Villa and House. They do a lot of case goods. I would say their feel is tends to be more East Coast appropriate, but
Mhm.
that is to say, sort of an updated traditional feel. They do a lot of case goods, but they also maybe a year or two ago introduced quite a bit of really nicely done upholstery. I have not personally purchased any, but I believe our clients have been really happy with it. Um, this is probably, I don't know why I've picked this piece. It's the least cool piece that Rove Concepts is selling, but Rove is new for us and is our fastest growing vendor to date on the site.
What's
Um,
the name?
Rove Concepts, and
Ah,
they really are a very contemporary line. But they do some pieces that I think will be pretty iconic over time. And the pricing is, I mean, you cannot beat. Uh,
so the
and
bench is 1,429, 39.
1439, 935 if you're a Pro Plus member. They again are an exception. They would get free shipping applied to get you to that 50%.
Gotcha.
Um, and then we have Jaipur Living. Also, recently have added Fazy for rugs. I think they're both great, sort of neck and neck resources. Um,
Yes.
and in addition, we carry Annie Selke and Dash and Albert, which is, I mean, I should never say favorites. I love Dash and Albert. I think they just work kind of everywhere, and they're really well made for the price they come in at. We don't have their entire catalog up, so it's one vendor where you're going to want to check their website and email us products that you like. But Jaipur has thousands of SKUs and a huge range of pricing options. And really, I don't think there's a rug that they cannot
Don't.
do
Yeah,
for you.
that's so true.
um,
That's so true.
and then I've included here, we've recently added TL at Home, which is a beautiful linen line represented by Caderis. I actually have them on my bed here at my house. Um, we again don't sell every single piece that they offer, but everything is incredibly nicely made. And again, I think for a high quality linen duvet cover, 576 MSRP is not too bad.
Right.
And then lastly, I wanted to point out, I always think it's best to be honest as a designer, because I do design projects still. I am not somebody who buys
Artwork?
made art. I really buy art made by artists that I've met or locally. But what I do like about this particular, the pictorialist, it's a very small collection, and the owner works closely with each artist and their limited runs, um, and really does a good job highlighting um, the work of the individual artist.
It's
So
amazing.
those are a bunch of mid-tier vendors that I think are great resources. That certainly doesn't mean they're the only ones on the site. Mo's Home Furnishings, I should just bring up real quick, is one of their salespeople came and talked to us during our concierge hour last month,
Yeah.
and we have been so impressed with the growth of that line into really a much different quality than it used to be, without a huge change in price. So I would encourage everybody who's headed to High Point in the fall to go check out their showroom. They are a good mid-tier vendor, and I think they're only going to get better. We're really
Name them again.
it's called Mo's, I believe, Home Furnishing. Now I'm gonna, the extra names beyond Mo's. Let me just double check. Um, Mo's Home Collection.
Mo's Home Collection.
Mo's
Okay.
Home Collection. Also nice to note with them, their photography is really, really good. So if you are doing a lot of not in-person shopping, it's always helpful to have really good photography. Okay, let's go now to the low, and I do not mean that disparagingly. I I I put low things in nice rooms, and I think it's very nice to have a diversity of quality in a room.
Well,
Uh,
especially if a client's trying to keep to a certain investment level, right? So I recently had
exactly.
one of my profit insiders got a 20,000 square foot home, and the clients balked a little bit about her design and project management fee. But then the furnishings, she's like, I can't maneuver my fee, but I can do a little more high low in your design. And they were like, great, right? So
Yeah,
it's definitely ways to move the money around.
yeah, and also I think it's very stylish. I think it's fun and implies sort of youth and creativity to have this sort of mix going on. Um, and so here are some pieces by vendors in that lower category. I think Eurostyle does a really nice job of. I mean, this is a set of 4 chairs that as a pro member you can buy for $630.
Wow.
Um, they do a really nice job of creating pieces that feel familiar but are unique to them and are of decent quality that people are not going to be disappointed by. Um, so I've had a number of clients come and say we're really happy with Eurostyle. Um, so I kind of try to always include them in a presentation about the sort of most affordable pieces we offer. Modway, I think people know really well. I have been excited to see that they're updating some of the pieces that they have. So this now is coming in a faux travertine top and sort of a matte black base as opposed to the glossy white or black that we've seen it in for a number of years.
Mhm.
And I know that many of the pieces in their collection have been similarly altered and updated. Um, I'm just pointing out here that Jaipur, does go way affordable in price for an 8x10 size rug. This is $492.50, and I just think the border here is so fun. Um, I use Sisal a lot for clients when it's affordability is important, and what I do is tend to get the biggest one I can and then layer a smaller, nicer rug over the top of it. Uh,
Oh, interesting.
yeah, because sisal is not the most, don't dump your red wine on it. But you don't want to get a rug that's too small for a room. So that offers a great solution.
Yes.
Here is a piece from Moe's. This has been in their collection for quite a while, but a nice open etagere. Um,
That's a
and
great price. That's the retail.
yes, yeah, that's a great price too. And
Nine ninety. For those of you who can't see it on Instagram, $9.99, I think it says.
yeah, 9.99.
So the highest tier, the signature tier, or the Pro Plus, used to be called Pro Plus, is half of that.
Yep. And then Uttermost, I also think a lot of people are very familiar with. They have
Yes.
thousands of SKUs. Um, I think this is an entertaining lamp. It's $154 if you're a Pro Plus
Oh
member.
my God. Okay.
Um, and then we like Jamie Young quite a bit for sort of unusual pieces. I said I don't really like to buy stock art myself. I am interested when it seems like there's a handmade quality at play, and I think Jamie Young does a good job of having pieces that feel really tactile.
Mhm.
And the scale of this is 30 by 30 and comes in an acrylic box. So I think it's hard to beat that scale at that price.
Oh,
And then
absolutely.
we very recently added Furniture Classics, which just has a lot of quite affordable, um, uh, unusual case goods. And I think they're a great resource, especially if you want something that looks a little bit more, I don't want to say weather beaten because that doesn't sound positive, but something that has a little bit more tactile quality, rusticity to
I
it.
was going to say a little rustic, a little
Yeah.
natural woods and things like that. Okay.
Yeah. So as you can see, shopping in sort of this tier, I mean, maybe this is a little game room or a little dining room that I just created. And we've spent $8,000, the client has. What, $8,600, and our client would make $4,300 off of this too. And what I like about that so much is that it used to be for me, if someone said I have $25,000 to furnish my 1-bedroom apartment, I would say, I wish you luck, I cannot help you. And now I can say, of course I can help you, because I'm likely to make $12,000 on that.
Exactly. What a difference it makes, right? And I do tell my designers who don't have a full pipeline, but even sometimes when you do, don't overly screen somebody on your website or on your questionnaire. You want to talk to them and see if you can provide them. You can make good money on the smaller jobs, like really good.
You can, yeah, as long as you're really intelligent about what you're doing and what the parameters are up front. And
Yes.
I think too, and maybe you advise differently. I think at that level, I like to be a little bit careful and say, now you are not going to receive full service. I'm not going to be at your beck and call. I will get you a beautiful room, but we're going to work a little bit together on this.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what we go by service model. What service model did they sell to the client?
Okay.
Is it
Okay.
design only with links? Is it design and project management? Is it design, project management, finishing touches? It depends on the service model they provide, and it depends on how much they charge them. So if someone's got a budget that you're trying to stay under, I always say, don't give up your design fee or your project management
Yeah.
fee, because you're replacing the client in something they don't want to do. Make sure you're getting and get the margin on the furnishings. We do a profitability analyzer. We give it to a lot of our clients, and it's free on my website, where people will do, at the end of a job, put in all their numbers. And we have historically found that designers who are doing mid to lower quality, I won't say quality, it's a great quality, but pricing jobs sometimes have much higher profitability than those doing big luxury jobs, because they get nervous and they pull back on their fees or their margins, and they just want the place to look phenomenal, so they spend too much, that's
Yes,
in the
I've
budget.
been very guilty of that myself. So
All
I
of the
know.
above. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think Daniel House Club provides them a one-stop shop for most, if not all, of their furnishings for a client at great discounts. And you guys actually handle their back end, where you're ordering it, you're tracking it. They call you, not 20 different vendors, if they're ordering from 20 different places. And your customer service is exemplary.
Yeah, and I always like to highlight that everyone on our concierge team that you're going to be speaking with has design experience themselves. So they've been standing in your shoes and
Yes.
know what it is like to stand there and disappoint a client. So if I would never say nothing's going to go wrong. It will. The important thing is that you're going to be supported until it is correct.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Did you hit all the points that we wanted to hit today?
I did. If you have any questions about any additional vendors, again, you can see all of our vendors on our website. If you go visit danielhouse.club and click on our vendors on the top of the page, and always message our concierge at danielhouse.club if there's a vendor you don't see and want to know about, or would like to see added, because we're very receptive to that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Peter. This was an amazing amount of information. I hope anyone who's watching towards the end will go back and watch from the beginning, because there was a tremendous amount of information here. You can go watch on my Facebook business page, Nancy Ganzerkoffer, my YouTube channel, where all of Daniel House Club videos sit in a playlist. So you can go and watch how to use Daniel House Club to make more money and to provide exemplary products to your clients.
And join, before the Founders Day sale on July 26th, because you can make even more money.
Yeah, that's huge. Go back and listen to that, guys, because they're having a tremendous sale that could add how much more to their discount for 3 days?
20% additional off your membership price.
Huge, huge,
Yep.
huge, huge. So, all right.
Yep.
Thank you, Peter. We will chat
Thanks.
with you next time. Everybody go over to danielhouse.club, check out the vendors, the discounts, the tiers, and if they're part of my world,
Yes, they get a discount. And now I'm so sorry. I don't remember what it is. I think it's 50% off an annual top level membership. Yeah.
that's what I understand. And they
Yep.
just have to mention my name, I think, or put in the code, but they can
Yes.
check with you on that.
Yep. Just if they don't know what to do, email the concierge and say, hey, I heard about you on Nancy. And what do I do to get this discount?
Perfect. All right. Thanks, Peter. We'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Go have a great Thursday and a great weekend if I don't see you after this. Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
guys. Thank you.
Thank you.